Israel's going to ignore it. That's a given. They've ignored the World Court. They've ignored the United Nations Security Council. They ignore everybody. So they'll ignore us and Turkey. But we have to do the right thing. We have to try to hold them to account as best we can. Well worth coming all the way here to have the judge hear my story. In Canada, my own government didn't want to know my story. The Canadian media didn't want to hear my story, so the Canadian public doesn't know about what happened to me. So it's good to have someone listen to my story, even just to hear my story. That's good. If there's enough pressure, eventually they'll have to. I've been at this a long time in many different countries. I've been to Colombia, Guatemala, El Salvador. I've worked in solidarity with South Africa. And South Africa is a perfect example. When I was a child and my mother and father fought for the freedom of South Africa, they thought that it wouldn't happen in their lifetime that South Africa would be free. It simply couldn't, never happen, they thought. And then South Africa was free. So I think it's the same thing here, that eventually it's the Zionist project is going to collapse, and there'll be democracy and freedom in Palestine. I don't know how, I don't know what it will look like, but it will come. It has to. It might not be in my lifetime, but inshallah. But it has to happen. It has to. It doesn't matter how many guns or how much power, how much money's involved. It simply has to. When the whole world is against it, it's going to change. Even the Israelis, the Israelis who don't want it to happen, it'll be in their own best interest to let the change happen, because it'll bring peace and freedom and security to them as well. So eventually, and this is one step along the way.